Welcome back. Thank you very much for your time. We're grateful. I'm tearing here in the studio, and of course, you can understand. The two gentlemen are here, and but of course, there are people who also love to go to the kitchen. Okay, for Rev, because of his status now, I don't. But the man on my left, obviously, this concerns him. So I'm just sharing this with you, that I know you love to prepare stew and soup, and so you must understand that there's something that is available. Gino tomato mix. It's thick, it's red, and it's rich.
Right? If it's not red, only be.
Yeah, and of course, it's also enriched with vitamin A, D3, fiber, and zinc, treating you and your future wife to tasty and delicious meals.
I see.
It gives your meals deep red appeal and, of course, rich texture as well. So you go on and make your next meal with unforgettable Gino tomato mix because Gino truly cares.
I see.
These adverts vetted and approved by FDA.
I see.
Of course, we're also happy that the Bank Hospital is associated with us here on Wake Up African. So if you need any medical needs at all, wherever you are in the world, here in Ghana, on the continent of Africa, you want to connect to the Bank Hospital. The Bank Hospital is proud to be associated with us. You can call them 0302-739-373, 0302-739-373. Or visit their hospital, which is just close to cantonments near Nafti here in Accra, Ghana. All right, let's see you there. My guests have joined me, the forensic scientist, and of course, a leader of the Next Gen here at Action Chapel International, Prayer Cathedral. Next Gen, of course, across the world, and so this is one of their leaders. His name is Pastor Bernard Addy. We call him Pastor Buddy, and of course the clinical engineer as well, who works with Lekma Hospital, and also an assistant pastor at the Action Chapel International, Teshi. Good morning, gentlemen. And
good morning. Should we go?
Go to where we're about to
announce the thing, and let's why you must
so
we do
we'll
this?
get on to the very first story.
Okay.
We'll get
Okay. No, tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow is Thursday. I'll be back.
What has happened to
I will come back.
Come and do what?
You
come
announce
back.
the thing.
What am I supposed to announce?
Okay, let's do the first one.
Anyways, veteran journalist Nana Kwasi Gyan Appenteng passes at 74. Veteran journalist and respected cultural figure Nana Kwasi Gyan Appenteng has died in London at the age of 74 after a short battle with cancer. Ooh, so sad. In the late
Bank Hospital.
Right. Just a brief history. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, Nana Gyan Appenteng worked in the United Kingdom as deputy editor of the now defunct West Africa magazine, which was based in London. Upon his return to Ghana in 1990s, he joined the Third World Network, heading the communications unit and editing its flagship monthly publication, Africa Agenda. Over the years, he distinguished himself not only as a journalist, but also a media trainer and communications consultant, lending his expertise to a range of corporate, intergovernmental, and non-governmental organizations. These included telecoms giants, MTN, several United Nations agencies, media foundations for West Africa, Star Ghana, and others. Alrighty, so that's that. I don't know if any of you came close to him.
I'm actually looking at his LinkedIn.
Oh, okay.
Profile now.
Right.
And it's very interesting.
Okay.
How people pass on.
Right.
And their social media pages are so active.
Okay.
You know, you can still go on there. You know, he was the chairman of the NMC, the National Media Commission.
Yes.
He was also
a
former chairman. Yeah. And then he was also a president of the Ghana Association of Writers.
Yes, which of course, that's how come I came close to.
Oh, so you are an international global superstar.
No, that's not true.
You playwright, have flyers and other things. Written plays. Okay, we are big man. Oh. We are very big man, guys.
I'm sorry for getting into it.
But how do you know him? Please tell us.
Well, I just told you through the Ghana Association of Writers. I get to do a lot of work for them in terms of
for them.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
No, of course. The job I do for the foremost is moderating emceeing. So I've emceed a couple of awards, moderated a couple of sessions. But just as I'm doing here, it's
When I
nothing
grow up, I want to be like you. I tell you, we have been role model.
new. There's nothing absolutely new about what I do here is what I do for them. And so that's how come
I've been doing. They never call me. They have never called me. I've been doing ever since.
Your time will come. Your time will come.
Charlie.
Anyways.
Wow.
Yeah.
But this man, when you read his CV, is very impressive.
Right.
And the fact that he lived to 74,
Yes.
and he's going to be with the Lord.
Right. I mean, he was still looking healthy. As
Yes,
I
very.
stated,
Very.
stated earlier.
Very.
Last time I saw him driving to the.
No, but I remember he died of cancer. I don't know what kind of cancer it was, but I remember during the 31st watch night, the New Year's, Papa called all men who were between the ages of 40 and 70 or so.
Right.
Or all men above 40.
Okay.
And he said, well, he prayed for us.
Right.
And then he said, everybody should go and do a prostate examination.
Okay.
You know, one of the things you know about Papa is that he's very spiritual, and his spirituality makes him wise. You know, so he doesn't play that spiritual game.
Yes.
You know, it's like, I'm spiritual, so you know, go and do a prostate exam. It's one of the commonest cancers in men.
That's right.
You know, it's the number one, and then also for the women, I think it's ovarian cancer. Go and have yourself checked. Make sure you are eating well, you are drinking well, you are sleeping well. And I mean, God will bless you to live to in a good, ripe old age of 70. For 74 is not that old, you know, per biblical standards, but I think it's good enough.
Okay.
It's good enough. And our condolences to his family and his children.
All right. I'm just worried I mean, they said 40 to 70 and you went. You're not 40.
Oh no, I was at the premises. I was on the premises.
Okay.
I'll be 18 next year. 17 going on 18. Starlets, black starlets. I'm a black starlets player.
Right.
It's interesting.
Right.
But our condolence to the bereaved.
Yeah.
It's not easy to lose such a veteran. You know, this is a man that have leave a very strong legacy in journalism. So, one, I would say, the Bible admonishes us, we show God wishes above all things that we prosper and be in good health. So, the health factor is very, very important. When you cross certain boundaries of your age, from 40 going, you need to take into consideration some health factors. You know, annual checkup is very, very important, and certain lifestyle that we live, eating late in the night, lack of exercise. And all these are contributing factors to some of these things. So I think he has done his best, but it is up for us that are living to see how best we can also take good care of ourselves, because it's amazing the age limit now, 40, 50. The life expectancy now in Ghana is very bad. So it's a responsibility on the youth to take certain precautions. You can't just live anyhow. You can't just eat anyhow. I think it's the eating culture that is a problem. Right. The way we eat is a problem. So we need to take into considerations all these things, and above all, exercise. It's also very, very important. We need to also, but we say bodily exercise profited what? A little. So we should also, so that some of these things don't come, that you see them, people battling with all sort of sicknesses and end up wasting all their resources before their demise, and that is very pathetic. So.
Anyways, let's continue to celebrate our veterans. A lot of them in the arts. Professor Martin also, good morning wherever you are. Professor Lade Oson, good morning. Madam Doris Adabasukuonu, Dr. Bomita, all of you.
I won't miss Appenteng, the CEO, the general manager.
Right.
He's also...
yes, right. I'm pabbing, you mean?
Pabbing,
okay,
yes.
right.
Ebenezer, I'm pabbing. Good morning, Mr. Ebenezer, I'm pabbing.
Yes.
You know, some allowances will be cool.
For me.
No, for me.
Okay.
I'm talking for myself, or you can say your own.
Anyways, so majority to lead probe into COVID-19 funds, Japan and PDS deals. The majority caucus in Parliament has vowed to initiate a comprehensive investigation into acts of financial mismanagement and recklessness that allegedly occurred under the former Akufo-Addo administration. Among the key areas identified for scrutiny are the expenditure of COVID-19 funds and a series of sole source contracts awarded during the previous government's tenure. And so there you are. There you have it. Japa, COVID-19, and PDS will be. Let me start with you, sir.
Well, it's when some of these things come up, I ask a lot of questions. That why do people wait for that length of time to come out with some of these things? These allegations that we've heard of the COVID-19, that is around 5 years now. The Japa issues and the probe into the PDS issue. These are all corruption issues that the media came up with a lot of allegations, and we have been silenced on it until NDC come in, and they are now trying to take up the responsibility of probing into it. Well, I hope they find something, because anytime issues like this come up, people do their homework to make sure that they close the necessary gaps so that evidence that are needed for whatever investigations are not reached. But to me, I think the government should put up measures so that we don't have a party leaving before another party coming in to probe into issues. Because these are issues that came up during the MPP time.
Yeah.
How come there was no investigation? How come there was no better outcome to this? Do we need a majority to come into power now to go into probing some of these issues? Well, there are a lot of issues that are there, but I've to the best of my understanding, I think it's high time when people get into some of these issues. It doesn't matter whoever is in power, whether NDC or MPP, you are voted into public office to protect the pest, to protect our asset. So when individuals are getting into this kind of corruption, like what is fund that have been released for people to use for COVID-19, people divert it, people mismanage it, and nothing came out of it. So we'll see what comes out of it. I doubt, but let's see the outcome of it.
Well, there's a track record for the former president, because while he was even his first term as president, as much as he was criticized for not being as strong as he is this time, he still had some people go to jail under his watch. I'm not really opposed to the next administration punishing the culprits from the other administration, if only they can, so that I know that whatever I'm doing today, my government is not going to be in power forever. So once they walk out, I'm going to be punished. I think it would serve as some deterrence. I am not opposed, actually.
I agree totally. And I think it should even upgrade from that fear of being punished by the next government to just being punished by the institutions, the system that we've built. Because corruption should be so uncomfortable for government and public officials that it's not even appealing anymore. And for the most part of it, we don't have any proper structures to punish corporates. And so we have bold-faced theft, using public office as well. You know, the story about the embassy, our embassy in Washington.
Yes, sir.
This guy has been going at it apparently for years. And he had been questioned, he had been cautioned, notice had been served him, attention had been drawn. But because he had links to people of power, he always got away with it. That is the issue. That's the problem. It doesn't have to take a different government to come into power to stop some of these kinds of things. It should be that we have developed our structures and our systems so much that it doesn't matter what party you belong to. Ghana is the priority. And as for the people who are thinking that this is just, a trivial, a mere witch hunt, or, it's like people are being attacked just for belonging to the opposition party.
Right.
Look, we really don't listen to such things these days. Once there's evidence to support the claims, we'll pursue. It's not as if we are just pursuing these people in a vacuum. If there's evidence to prove that they did what they're accused of doing, I think it should be totally pursued. And talking about the Ejapa, I'm really interested in Ejapa because it borders on our gold. I think we are number 2 in Africa or number 2 in the world. Gold, in terms of gold production or our gold deposit.
No, two.
I think the deposit, yes, it could be.
But in the world, we're in the top 10.
Yes.
In the world, we're in the top 10, and there are over 160 countries in the world. And if we're in the top 10 producers of gold, this should not be a state at all. And the Japa royalties deal I don't know. I don't even have much education in financial and physical stuff. But it smacks of illegality. You just can't see that, no, this thing doesn't make sense. But they pushed it through. As for the COVID funds, the less said, the better. The less said, the better. About 2 years after COVID, we're still taking COVID levy in this country.
We are still, though.
We are still taking it.
Yes.
Yeah. No, they've cancelled it.
They've cancelled.
No, COVID is not being cancelled.
COVID levy.
Yes, COVID will
No,
be...
it
no,
was
no,
scrapped.
no. It will be, I
July?
understand, September or by the end of the year.
Just fits into my point.
Yeah.
What was the function or the purpose of the COVID levy? Why are we still taking COVID levy? Where are the monies that have been taken? Can we account for them? And the COVID levy was introduced at a time when COVID was, rampaging the entire world. When those monies were taken at that time, it was supposed to be used for relief purposes.
You know, that was actually the thing. People were not really worried about payment.
Yeah.
Right. It was
But what the
money
money were now used for.
Exactly.
That was what the people were now angry about.
we support the Parliament of Ghana fully.
Yeah.
They should launch the full scale. I heard him say full scale investigation. So it should be full scale. We are not worried about what anybody will say about it. There's a witch hunt and they are going after them. Blah, blah, blah. If you've stolen money, you will bring it.
Yeah, but of course, Atoforson himself had to even face the rigor.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yes.
Was going to court him
Yes.
on that. So
Yes,
when it's
and we are heading towards that place. You know, some of the countries that we compare ourselves to in the West, like the US and UK, you hear some of the corruption scandals there. I don't know if you heard about the post office scheme in the UK. Very bad. They are not the models. So those people in the West, they know how to be corrupt in a very professional way.
That's right.
And they make you look bad,
That's right.
even when you call them out.
Yes.
So we are not looking at any Western institution. We are looking at the moral principles, ethics.
Yes.
We are looking at the development of this country. We are not trying to be like America. We are trying to be the best version of Ghana we can possibly be.
Yeah.
When Osajifo instituted this country, he had a vision. He was running very fast towards that vision. And there are relics of his genius. At that time, he was thinking about nuclear energy.
At that time,
Yeah.
He was thinking about nuclear energy, hydroelectric power. And we see those things there. We see it over. His dream is not dead. And as long as we are alive, we may not be as loud as certain others, but we will contribute our quota, we will support, they will throw away behind them. They should investigate, they should bring them out, they should prosecute them.
I think it ties into the picking up of former Ashanti regional.
I hear he fell sick in custody.
Exactly, I was rushed to. What do you think? Just a minute each for people have said that pick him up. Devoid of the Rambo style that you have.
What is Rambo style?
Okay, you define it when we come to you very soon. Rambo style, you define it. Since you want to teach us what Rambo style is.
What is Rambo style? We haven't said Rambo style. You are saying Rambo style. Is it not Actors Global that said Rambo style? What is Rambo style?
Well,
so we should go and say, please, you are under arrest, please, respectfully.
Yes.
Then what you say, yes, please.
Yes.
What's that?
You read your rights to you.
Who said they didn't read his rights to him?
No, they just picked him. I think there are videos around where he got out of his car and then the cars, getting them, they whisked him away.
So what should they have done? What should they have done? No, right, what should they have done?
But I think the approach is what is done.
He's asking for what our approach is.
What was the alternative
The
to
question
this?
is that when they invite them to come, and most of the
He
time
was invited
to come.
Yoko, we don't invite. Yoko, we don't invite. Economic organized guys. You want to be invited to Yoko? No, you don't come to Yoko. You will be picked up. You have got to do mismanagement and we are coming for you.
They should invite you.
We should pick you up in a certain way. You see, there are certain people like that too. When you misbehave and you are correct, you say, no, the correction is,
It's too hard.
You must do sandwich correction. Your mouth like this. You go in anyhow. Okay, we beg. We are sorry for the Rambo style. You still go.
Yeah, okay, that's right.
We are sorry, please.
But the lawyer was calm after the interrogation. I think the way he spoke, didn't even, as though they were rough, whatever it is. I think he was just calm. Lawyer Pia could be
He's generally a
no, but you find him sometimes agitated.
Yeah.
But he wasn't, and all of that.
He says
So-
the interrogations are not over.
yeah, well, they will definitely. But it just, there's a sharp contrast between the guys who were outside hitting a lot of people, assaulting journalists, versus
Those who were inside. And they could tell that,
no. So the people came out, and I'm okay. So it's okay, everything is okay, and then they were, and then the people outside here, we cannot be. So I don't know.
I saw a video.
What I was worried about is the party faithful that came around
Right.
to. I don't know what they really came to do, but
Right.
Therefore,
the issue of wound to me is not now. You know, there have been a lot of allegations of.
there is evidence on the internet. Un to me sat on his media platform and brought out real gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lined it up and said, then he was adding, sorry for those who don't understand. Should I add more? Should I add more? And he was displaying and flaunting gold that now we are even suspecting to have been illegally mined.
A quick search, ChatGPT, Jonas just sent this to us. The gold producing countries, 2024. ChatGPT said China, 380
Excuse me?
metric
China.
tons.
Excuse me, what? Producing or refining, please.
It's a top gold producing country.
Producing in what
countries.
sense?
Producing.
As in like they mine it there?
Right, yes. Russia,
Excuse me, it's not
310
accurate.
310 metric tons. Australia, 290
It's
metric
not,
tons.
it cannot be accurate.
Canada,
These are
200
values,
metric tons. United States, 160 metric tons. But they say notably Ghana ranks as the top gold producer in Africa, reflecting its...
China.
yeah. But, okay, so the production should mean what?
When we say the top gold producer, we are
Yeah.
talking about how much gold is from your country. How much gold do you mine from there? If you refine it and make products out of it. You see, I may be mistaken because maybe I'm just downplaying China. Maybe they have some really large gold deposits.
Maybe
You see,
there's
the
Maybe
truth is that
we would have to search more.
No. You see, these are values that come across, and when it comes to China, for instance, it's a country that you can't just play with. You know, these people are serious people. You know, they can do anything at all. So, if there's values that they are the top producers of food, I don't think it's something for us to.
Actually, they
think
do
of.
have gold.
They do a lot of things.
Yeah.
For
They have
Chinese,
gold
they are.
deposits here.
Yeah.
They are.
But you see what they are doing, because they lead, and you see, that's my challenge with Ghana, Africa. I can assure you that China is leading this particular charge and other charges with research,
Yeah.
where they have projected that by so and so time, we would want to be here.
Yeah.
If you ask African and African countries, what leads what you are doing right now, what it's leading, there's no plan or there's little knowledge about it, even the citizens themselves.
Yeah.
Look, I was told by a very reliable source that Chinese across the world,
Yeah.
if you find any artifact that is connected with China, you have to report it to the embassy reports it to their country so that they can repatriate it to their country. Artifacts.
Like indigenous artifacts.
Absolutely.
But they've falsificated ours in their museum.
But you see, that's my point. You see, my point is that the intentionality and the consciousness to want to deal with this thing.
Well, we don't have leverage. For the most part of it, we don't have leverage. So, for instance,
We used to.
the Benin idols that are in the British museums and so on. If Nigeria demands those artifacts to be returned, what leverage do they have? Because then the argument is you don't have proper infrastructure to preserve these things. We have preserved these things from the what were the Bronze Age and so on and so forth. Then you can come and look at it and it's properly maintained. If we give it to you right now and you send it to Nigeria, how will you maintain it? How will you maintain it? It's not just a matter of we are claiming what is ours, we are claiming what is ours. It's also a matter of we are trying to preserve a piece of history. That's the footage of Chairman Wuntumi being picked by Yoko. On his way from CID interrogation from back to back, he went to CID, he was interrogated, and I think him being rushed to the hospital was a logical conclusion for the day, because if you've been sent to CID and been grilled for hours, and then just as you are coming out, people come out from Yoko and then they put you into a van or into a pickup and they say, come and answer for more crimes. I think it would be a bit too much for the man. But, the amount of noise the man has made in Ghana.
Charlie, I chanced on pieces of video they put together and the utterances.
Very horrible.
I didn't even see that because I don't follow him. I just saw it speaking about the vice president, vice president, and the way and manner,
the terminologies,
the things, her appearance. He
says it's richer than John Mahama.
No, I don't even care about those ones, but the way he went
about it,
my world. I said, wow.
That is why we can't. That's the video of him displaying the gold. Exactly. Yes, that's it. That's a video of him raw gold, though. And they will put it on the table. You see different gold, proper gold. This is pure gold.
Anyways, I mean, for me, I just want us to leave this. We're even talking about very
progressive things.
Exactly, in terms of how we can leverage what we have. Because I was also told, just as you were saying, I'm told that our archives from back in the day, from Kwame Nkrumah days, film in terms of photos and all of that, is kept in the United Kingdom.
I think there was a time some artifacts were brought from.
Yeah, no, this one is not even artifact, memories.
Memories, okay.
Memories. Every other thing that happened around Ghana, we're paying rent somewhere in the United Kingdom.
Those ones I think we can easily get back. But again, if you look at our museum structure, how things work, for me, I think that sometimes I'm even on the side of them keeping it there because they are very meticulous about preserving history. Most of the things we know, even about our own history, is because of them, because they documented it. We have heavily relied traditionally on oral tradition, socialization, we pass on stories. But you see, when you write it down, when you write something down when it happens now, it's fresher in your memory, the details are more accurate. And we didn't have that back then. They did it for us.
That's right.
Even our Tree Bible, our Ewe Bible, it was translated by them, you see. And that has been the problem. We have caught up in so many ways.
Right.
But to develop the infrastructure to be able to hold and maintain some of these things is the issue.
Yeah, because if we don't as well, for me, if we don't, and it's in their hands, you see, it's of national security concern.
Exactly.
Identity issues are national security concerns.
Yes.
The fact that somebody does not know himself, the person becomes harmful. So if we keep our memories and all of these things in their hands and they use it, this is where they came from.
Right.
They can do projections. Look, they can sit down, research on us, and know this is where we are going to go even in 10 years based on the memories they have.
Exactly.
I think that's
it's worrying.
It's a problem. It's a problem because even when you read the church history about the Bible, how the canonization of the Bible came. These were the challenges. That's why there are a lot of diversities even in the church now.
Right.
You have the Catholic having some documentations that the Christendom doesn't want to accept, and those variations. Because over the years there have been a progression of keeping records.
Yes.
For instance, if I should ask your family history, this is just your father tell you something that. This used to be your grandfather. This used to be your great-grandfather.
It should be written.
There is no written document about histories of people. So this information, the whites are very meticulous. Anytime they come, you see them having something.
Even dance.
Yes.
They write dance. We call it lab annotation.
Yeah.
So they have a way. Your bobobo or your aduano.
They can even give you the history.
It was learnt just by some. So by the time you are passing it down, it could be distorted.
Exactly.
But they've written it down, how it was done. They've written it down so they can tell you how they even learn how to play the drums.
Yes.
It's written down. So somebody can.
Yes. Somebody can pick it up and with the accurate knowledge, you just, And the Egyptians did this, with their hieroglyphics and all of those kinds of things. And we have put a lot of power into the hand of these Western guys. Because when they document our history for us, they can change any parts
That's my
they want.
point exactly.
They can change any parts they want. You know, when the black Americans and when they come to Ghana and they go to the Omina Castle and Cape Coast Castle, they cry because, like you said, the identity of a person determines a whole lot.
Exactly.
If you don't know where you come from, you think you belong somewhere else, it affects the way you grow, the way you develop, and so on. So I think we should, talking about the gold, all this stem from
Absolutely.
the gold has stabilized our currency in a very interesting way because of the gold board initiatives and so on. And if we don't start thinking export, refining our own gold, having control over the export and exporting more than we import, this depreciation of the dollar we see and appreciation of the cedi we see is going to be a flash in a pan. And we've been warned by Dr. Vladimir Ntwi, or is it Ntwi-Danso, yes.
That word.
He says...
But it's the same thing. So I have a challenge with...
Dr. Vlad.
No, Pastor Badi.
Yeah. Oh.
Same thing Fitch said. Spoke to the issues of the city.
Don't come and talk about our things. We have our own experts. We have our own experts.
As far as I'm concerned,
yes.
I have to check his credentials again.
Yeah.
Dr. Vlad?
Yes. Is a
Institute of... No. He's a senior fellow of the Institute of Economic Affairs.
Exactly.
Senior fellow.
Exactly.
Senior.
Exactly.
Yes.
But you see, my point is the way he spoke.
Yes. He was speaking from a point... You see, two people can say the same exact thing.
Yes.
But mostly it is the motive that counts. You know, Zachariah in the Bible said, "Oh, how can these things be? Seeing that I'm an old man," the angel said, "You're a problem." Okay. You're a problem. This is the last time you will speak until the baby is born.
So
Mary said the same thing. How can these things be? Gabriel, the same Gabriel said, if I may explain to you, the power of the Holy Ghost will come upon you. What's the difference? They said the same thing. Mostly it's the heart. It's not the presentation. You fictional. You are not telling us out of a standpoint of trying to protect our economy. What interest do you have in our economy? If we do well now, how do you benefit?
Okay.
Dr. Vlad is part of the thing. He's a senior fellow of our economic academy. So when he says the same thing as Fritz says, he's not saying it from the same standpoint. He's saying it that we are happy about this thing, but we've seen it before. He said in Kufuor's time, one cedi was more than the dollar. I even thought it was equal. It was more.
You can have that conversation. That's another conversation.
Yes,
now.
He said it was
and that's
more.
That's why I went away $1 to one cedi was not the case. But
yes.
We can have that. I mean, I've had
one cedi was what cents?
In real value,
I think it was 98 cents or so.
Wasn't, yes.
Well, in real value, you can argue that.
We could do that.
No, aside the redenomination, there was also appreciation. It wasn't just a matter of redenomination and taking zeros a week.
Do you know the issue? And I mean, we can finalize on this. The issue, as much as you're saying to tease as a former president, where he says, "Sikam pedide," money does not like noise. When the Bank of Ghana comes out to and exudes, the governor exudes some positive outlook.
Oh, yes.
And you think that you are an IEA director, and you speak more, a senior fellow.
Right.
Anybody who hears this, that's my point.
If
Fitch does it, why would you also do it?
Right.
There's a way you say it.
That it doesn't.
Did you hear him?
Yes.
I wish we could play.
Yes.
So direct and smacks of,
right.
It's going to go down.
Not
even one, it will go down like a prophetic. Go and watch the thing again.
I listened to it about once or twice.
So I'm saying that, can we just say these things? You hear Professor Bob King say the same things.
Yes.
But say, let's be cautious about it so that we are able, this is what governor can do, this is what the Bank of Ghana can do. Our fiscals must, the discipline. But he's saying, it will go down. By December, it will go down. Watch it. I pray with whatever. So that's my point, that don't speak. The way he spoke, he even spoke worse.
Right.
I can assure you.
And again, he's a guy, look, we are not getting this thing by prayer.
Exactly the point. And that's why my point.
We are doing rituals in the background. The city is going up. Those who have gone to do paper, we've gone to marry last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You see, we would use 600 cities for our wedding to be very glorious.
That's it. I support. But no, you actually. 2 jailed, 14 years for defilement in disturbing money champ. The Jasikan Circuit Court has sentenced 2 men to 7 years imprisonment each for defilement of a 15-year-old girl in a case that exposes alarming trends in sexual violence and exploitation in Ghana's rural communities. The judge delivered the verdict on May 23rd, 2025, after finding the 2 men guilty of the crime against the minor. The convicts, Joseph Boating alias Efrie or Small Pepe, 37, and Hashiru Zulkarnaini, alias Skedem, 27, was arrested by police in KJB for abetment of defilement and defilement, respectively, at the hideout in KJB in May 22nd, 2025. This was after the police received a report on the same day that Joseph Boating accosted a 15-year-old girl who was returning home after fetching water. The suspect promised to charm 2,000 Ghana cedis for her. Thereafter, the suspect lured the victim to his house at KJB Cocoa Market and made the suspect, Hashiru Zulkarnaini, a driver, have sexual intercourse with her under the pretext of using Hashiru Zulkarnaini's sperm for the charm.
Wait, Okoku, if it was sperm he needed,
Yes.
did they have to defile?
But
The girl was.
It's a means to an end. The two were arranged.
Do sperm banks supply women for such activity?
What would I do? To him, that's the means. You see, it comes back to, oh my world, what world are we building? Let's start with breakfast.
Anytime issues like this come in the public domain, it's sad when you hear some of these issues, you know. And concerning the age of the individuals involved, it still tells you they are still youth, you know, people below 20 years, and the desire to make money, because the issue is that they want to create a money charm for the lady, 2,000 Ghana cedis. And she also,
charm. 2,000 Ghana.
Yeah, so
something that Koku uses for lunch.
and she also followed, and she ended up being defiled. You know, it's sad, because the other day I think I was passing just East Legon here, and I saw some ex-convict. They were very young. You could tell from their age that they are in their early 20, and they were sweeping, and they came around begging for alms, and I was asking myself, look at these young guys. This could be very productive individuals who could have played, who knows what they could have been in the future. But what happened? It's some of these things that they do. And I always say that the quest to become very rich
In a short time.
in a very short time
Without process.
by the youth is a problem. You see, anytime we hear issues like this, it's like they also just want to make it. They also feel as if, okay, if I'm able to do this, I can make it. And I think there must be a lot of public educations, and the way at which, how do I call it, social media is advertising wealth in the face of the youth is becoming a problem. Because you see some of these social icons, and all that they do is, recently I was watching some documentary of Ajagruja and whoever. And they were all trying to show, I have this car, I have this car, I have this car. And people look at it and they feel that
They are left behind.
they are left behind. Because if, for instance, I see a young man, 30 years, and he has fleet of cars in his house, you know, it creates a lot of mindset. And so anybody who lure them that, oh, bring sperm and I'll get you money, they also get involved. So I think it's high time, massive education.
See
Yeah.
what we hear, what we see.
But I'm quite disappointed in the sentence.
Yeah,
14 years.
I think I said that, and I agree with you. I agree with you.
14 years. I mean, let's match the age. I mean, I think we should make it a law that if the person is below 10 years and you defile the person,
We'll add 1 0.
Either we add 1 0, multiply by 2.
Okay,
And if the person is above 10 years, we match it.
that's right.
You defile a 15-year-old, you go in for 15. You defile a 14-year-old.
No,
you go
even
in
that
for
one.
14.
Even that one. No, if you define a 1 year, you go 1.
Oh, no, you. What?
Or you are talking of the
You
multiplication.
defile a 1-year-old.
There are people who do these things. I'm saying that it has to come from a certain mental point, right? Or just again, I'm coming back. My sound as a cliche, but if you know yourself, know what you want and all of that, you will not find us. That's why we need to look. We are sitting on a time bomb. There are arms with people. People's minds are not as right as we see them walking around. People have mental issues, and we are showing them also things. We are showing them things, and that's why the Archbishop wants to use this medium. And if other people can replicate it, that look, there is a process. All of us have to wake up and come to work, do something so that we can get paid. You cannot just have it.
Exactly. You know, the Archbishop on Sunday was telling us that he has 43 siblings. 43.
43 of them.
43.
Ouch.
Yes.
Sounds
36 from his father's side and 7 from the mother's side. There are 43.
That's a lot of responsibility.
Exactly. You know, and he has been able to stand out because he took, and he was telling us on Sunday about taking the Bible serious and taking life principles serious. He said there are certain things that are principles in life. There are things that are givings in life. And you have to pay attention to these things. If you decide to cut corners, even if you don't reap the consequence on this earth, there's always a consequence to be. There's no win in this. There's no way you win in this. Right. And those of us who God has blessed with some influencer status, Kokulumo and Co. Who will much rather use their influence to tell us about latest iPhones, tell us about latest cars, Kokuya your squad, telling us about, bleaching creams, body enhancement. We beg you. We really beg you. Please, let's advertise property. Let's use the influence from properties.
I hear you.
Let's use the influence from properties.
I hear you.
So that we can stop. It's a menace.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
and you'll find that these people probably go to church.
Yeah, they do.
I wouldn't be surprised.
They do.
So let's take up the responsibility again. It goes back to the family system.
It does.
We raise our kids right. We make sure that if you don't have, you work for it. If you don't have, you work for it. Parents will not always be around. So if you are giving your children stuff, don't just give them education. Again, Papa said it on Sunday. He said, don't just give your children Western education.
It's dangerous.
Give them soft skills. Yeah. Give them values, principles. You don't steal.
There was a statement I read yesterday that there's a difference between providing and parenting.
Most of us are just providing.
Right?
We're not
you are just providing for the children, but you are not really parenting them.
That's right.
So it's a problem.
That's true.
So it has come to the domain that a lot of parents now become providers. Yeah. You pay fees, you give chop money, you provide whatever it is, but the real act of parenting, having fellowship with the children, telling them morals, status, what to do, as we are not doing it. So it's a problem, and that I think we all have to.
Yeah. Anyways, it's been a lovely, lovely morning, and that's what we do. And we want to say a very big thank you to all of you for sacrificing as always. Our guests always sacrifice to come through, to be a blessing unto you. And so make sure we pray for them all the time. Most of them scheduled to come from Monday through till Friday, and so we're grateful. Thank you. Thank you very much. Pastor Badi is a leader of Next Gen. Of course, a forensic scientist with the Gyan Armed Forces. Reverend Xavier Demoji is a clinical engineer, and of course, an assistant pastor with the Action Chapel International. There's a lot to share with you. Teshi, of course. Yeah. Teshi. There's a lot to share with you. There's more coming through. Remember, there are big conversations also, so you want to stay with us. We'll be right back.